to also share with you themselves your own history. And you see, now look, that happened in Memphis, Tennessee, right, in the 1940s. Now when I start telling you my grandmother and grandfather were being kicked out of their homes and some of their cousins were being murdered in the same years across, I know that was time, but across the world, and that there were some other things happening, and then they land up in Chicago. They landed in Chicago just like your family then fled from the South. Where did they flee to?
Yeah.
Chicago. My family fled from Palestine. Where did they flee to? Chicago. Here's two families that end up with Chicago with a similar kind of different histories, but similar oppressions. They grow up, they have kids, they don't necessarily always talk about those histories, they don't know one another, and then they may start not necessarily even connecting to one another. But it's not until you start having those conversations and start really connecting to people to see how we actually share some histories, even in different ways. You hear about Latino families and you hear about the debate about immigration, but I guarantee you none of you know anything about immigration or the struggle of immigration until you sit down and talk to a Latino family that had to actually go through the horrors of crossing the border. What made them flee? Like many black families fled from the South into the North, like many Arab families fled from their war zone areas, economic areas, to their places. And then you start